Hi, this is Dan from BibleProphecyandTruth.com. We're going to discuss chapter 21 today. Is evolution a science? The common theory of evolution states that there was matter and energy already in existence that exploded 15 billion years ago, the Big Bang, and has expanded into the present state of the universe. Hard matter, non-living matter, became biological life over those billions of years of being exposed to energy and has evolved on this planet to the point of life as we know it today. It started as the simplest form of life and gradually became more complex as time went on. This is taught as a science fact in our schools today. Webster's definition for science is knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as obtained and tested through scientific method. In order for something to be science fact, it must follow the scientific method of observation, hypothesis, testing, and demonstration. Evolution has never been shown to exist in any way, shape, or form in any living thing or in any remains found in the earth, and no scientist has ever been able to observe, test, or demonstrate anything that even remotely corroborates the theory of evolution. No intermediate or transitional stage of evolutionary development of any creature has ever been found. But wait, what about Lucy? What about all the skulls and bones of men in evolutionary stages they've found? Don't forget this question. I will talk about that later in this book. Evolution is not a science based on the definition of science and falls entirely into the realm of a faith-based system of belief. The definition of a religion is a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe. Evolution cannot be proven, and as defined practically and literally, it is a belief, not a science and certainly not fact. It's a belief. Anyone can believe anything they want, but that doesn't make it true. Irreducible complexity. Modern science has shown that some aspects of Darwinian theory are actually impossible. Take the flagellum, for example. It is a molecular machine that has 41 integrated parts of which it cannot function without a single one of those parts. This machine has a very specific function and would be unable to function if even one of its parts were missing. The idea that it somehow performed this function before it had all of the necessary components defies logic. In Darwin's day and age, they did not have the tools or the ability to see these machines or have any idea how they work. And in Darwin's own words, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organism existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. Darwin acknowledged that if someone identified a biological system that could not have been constructed in incremental steps over long periods of time, then his theory would be invalid. Machines like the flagellum cannot be explained away by Darwinian processes, and, in fact, Darwin's failed predictions have falsified his own theory. It's modern science that has invalidated the theory of evolution. Anyone who clings to the centuries-old theory without considering the modern scientific facts which prove it false are simply proving that intelligence is not the foundation for their belief, but that it's motivated by things other than science fact. The law of science states that all things left to themselves will tend towards disorder and decay. The Big Bang Theory violates this basic law. Order came out of chaos. It's observable that dead animals will decay and rot away. Dead fish will decay and rot away. Dead plants will decay and rot away. Stone buildings from ancient cultures will decay and fall apart. The Bible tells us that things will perish and wax old. Hebrews 1:10, "And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth. And the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they all shall wax old as doth a garment." We find the same verbiage in Psalms 102:26. Everything rots away eventually if it is left exposed to the elements. If it's buried, it can turn to stone in a relatively short time. A year or two is all that's necessary, but it will not survive if it's left out in the elements. We'll talk more about this later. People used to believe that a big rock would fall faster than a small rock. Today, we know that they fall at the same speed. There are many examples of old science theories that have been proven wrong. Today's science fact becomes tomorrow's discarded trash. Belief does not make something true. Evolution fact has many conflicts depending on what book you read. It is a belief, not a science. The Bible only has one truth. Even Charles Darwin acknowledged the inadequacy of evolution when he wrote, "To suppose that the eye, with all its inimitable contrivances for adjusting the focus to different distances, for admitting different amounts of light, and for the correction of spherical and chromatic aberration, could have been formed by natural selection seems, I freely confess, absurd in the highest possible degree." Darwin, 1872, and "Why, if species have descended from other species by insensibly fine gradations, do we not everywhere see innumerable transitional forms? Why is not all nature in confusion instead of the species being, as we see them, well-defined? Innumerable transitional forms must have existed. Why do we not find them embedded in countless numbers in the crust of the earth? Why, then, is not every geological formation and every stratum full of such intermediate links? Geology assuredly does not reveal any such finely graduated organic chain, and this, perhaps, is the most obvious and gravest objection which can be urged against my theory. Charles Darwin, The Origin of Species,